I feel like if you would have asked me that question, I wouldn't even know how to answer that. But you guys already just round the spot. You already know who you are, and I guess that's just an expression that comes from. Both looking at me like, keep going. That's the expression that comes from what you guys are really just is the word fostering? No, that's not the word. That's like a foster care. What you guys are cultivating. That's a better word. Fostering. Anyways, but yeah, so that's awesome. So for those of us that are probably just listening, those of us that are watching and probably curious, okay, what's the story? I don't know if we've already asked that. If we did,
No,
I can take
right
my
on
question
track.
back. So what's the story behind Axel, and what does the name even mean? I think that's something that we all want to know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know, but I feel like I'm speaking for the people.
Can I interject really quick before
Yeah.
something you were saying about like all of us knowing what we do? I feel like all of us have been on this journey, of like what it is that we do. All of us. I remember. Can I share when I first met you, Bosa? What? Can I? May I? Listen. This stuck out to me.
I'll say yeah.
Okay, it stuck out to me so much because when you know who Bosa is, and we all know who Bosa is, okay, I don't think you identified as a creative.
No.
Yeah, and I was so shocked. I was taken back. I was like, everything about you screams creative, everything, And so now we're in a space where it's like, you know that God is working through you creatively, but you like went to school for accounting, you know what I mean? And so
Whoa.
like, yeah. Oh,
You know?
Accountant Bosa, okay.
I think what Jordan said. I'm just gonna piggyback off what you said, and then let y'all answer the question. But what Jordan said about cultivating, I think that's truly what Axel does. It cultivates, and so before even being a part of the community, I identified. It sounds weird, but I was like, I am a revivalist. This is what I feel like God is calling me to do: birth revival. And I realized that God is birthing revival through the creative arts, through creative expression, and this is a part of the revival movement. And so it's been really cool to see that because, I mean, just to be real, Big C Church shunned creative expression and arts for so long that it almost wasn't something that you could say, this is what I do. Like he wanted to more so, I do this, and then I kind of dabble in this, and then if it makes me millions, then I can say, this is what I do. But if it doesn't make me millions, that can't be what I am because I'm looked down on in a sense. And so I think being a part of a community that actually celebrates and cultivates that within people makes you say, oh, you can be a serious creative and a revivalist in this realm, like what Jay was talking about, creating safe spaces of conversation, hard conversations. Like he does it so beautifully, but I think those things help free people. And that's one of the things I see in Axel that has been really encouraging. But the question was, what is Axel?
Jordan?
Yeah.
Well, I'll go ahead.
I muted myself, y'all.
Axel exists to equip and empower sons and daughters to advance the kingdom of heaven through their creative expression. So the call that you feel in the pool and things like revelation that you get, our community is literally existing to equip and empower people to literally bring the kingdom through creativity. And so that's kind of like, that's our tagline. It took us a long time to get it down. Yes. We all used to like, you say it, no, you say it, no, you say it. But it's weird how I am living and breathing that now. Like I don't have to remind myself of what that is. Like I've seen it like every creative night. Yeah. I've seen it done. And so I think the cool part about hearing, I guess, like the story of how we came together was because it's based on the Axel. So do you want to tell the story of like the actual, I'm gonna pass it because I feel like I jumble that part. But the Axel, okay. I feel like that's a really important part.
Yeah. So the Axel, so basically Axel is birthed from, I think it's 2 Samuel, but it's the Ark of the Covenant. And so basically the Axel is the thing that two people had to carry in between to carry the presence of God. So our idea, thank you.
There you go, Jalen.
Yeah, so one thing, I mean, this is something that when we first started, would say a lot, but like Pastor Jasmine, who is the founder of this, had a revelation. God had basically shown her what Axel was and given her blueprints almost 10 years ago, and like for it to have been birthed in Fort Worth, I think it was like looking back, just the 2 years that it's been has been like, wow, okay, God, you're doing something. But she had been given the blueprints, and it was this scripture, and basically it was saying that if your creativity, like if the Ark of the Covenant needed to be carried properly. We know that Uzziah, or Uzzah, I can't remember which one it is because there's both in the Bible, but he died from touching the covenant, or from touching the ark, or carrying it improperly. Right? I think they just had people. They were in a what was it? They were like celebrating on their way to the city of David. Basically, it was just miscarried, and so God had a way that He wanted His presence carried, and He said the Levites need to carry this thing, and they have to do it in community together. There was 4 of them carrying the axle. And so we are saying that we're that axle, and that our creativity, if it has the presence in it, then it shouldn't be carried alone. If it really has the presence in it, it shouldn't be something that you can just do by yourself. And so that's why we're a creative company, a creative community of people saying, hey, we're after the Father together. And like naturally, we're not a networking, like we don't network. That's not our goal. It does happen, but like it happens after we receive as sons and daughters and sit with our brothers and sisters, and then naturally we create and we collaborate, and once we understand that the presence is like the most important thing that needs to be carried in our giftings and our platforms and whatever it is, then we can like go forward and like you even shift differently, you create differently, you start inviting people into the middle space, you start doing the hard thing, like saying, hey, this project isn't done, but would you just give me feedback? And I'm gonna take it, and because I want what everything God has for this project or this thing or my craft or my ability. I want everything He has for it, and that takes community. So that's that's kind of the story that birthed from. So yeah.